Welcome on board, Chosen One. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see you coming. Stop scrolling right now and pay close attention to this screen. This is an urgent interception. Archangel Michael has personally routed this message to your feed because the window for your ultimate vindication is opening. If you leave now, you will completely miss the exact mechanism of their downfall. They always described you the same way, did they not? They called you too sensitive, they called you weak, and because of that, they severely underestimated you. They pushed you into isolation and thought you would break, but what they did not realize was that solitude was your training ground. You did not break. You evolved into the untouchable master of your reality. Now the tables have turned entirely. They are currently in a divine timeout. Heaven has placed them in a corner where they can do nothing but watch. Omen after omen is hitting their doorstep. Everything they tried to build on a foundation of lies is collapsing, and they are watching you win while they lose it all. And it is happening faster than anyone predicted. You are sleeping peacefully at night while their minds are spinning out of control. The same people who ignored your texts are suddenly feeling incredibly uncomfortable around you. They thought their betrayal would crush your spirit, but instead, it activated a primal and dangerous level of spiritual power inside you. Your quiet authority is absolutely terrifying to them now. Do not look away from this message. The heavy spiritual attacks you faced last year were not random. They were hard proof that the enemy was panicking. Darkness always fights the hardest, right before the biggest transfer of wealth and power occurs. And that transfer has just been approved in your name. The universe is physically moving resources from their hands into yours. You might be wondering why heaven took so long to act. You spent years being the empath who begged to be understood. You gave them chance after chance while they drained your energy, so the universe had to separate you to keep their incoming karma away from your spirit. Your rejection was actually a rigorous protection protocol. Listen carefully to this next part. There is a hidden message inside your current reality. You will completely miss it if you swipe away too soon. If you leave this video now, the blessing will still arrive, but you will not have the spiritual equipment to hold onto it. Make a promise to your future self right now. Do not let this truth fade. Something massive is happening behind the scenes. Those who plotted against you are watching their empire crumble. Meanwhile, a massive table is being prepared for you right in their presence, and while they cannot sit with you, they are forced to watch you eat. This is the ultimate vengeance, and it requires no words or actions from you at all. But there is a deeper layer to this phenomenon. A secret mechanism is currently locking them out while granting you full access. It is not just about karma or good luck, because there is a specific reason why your frequency is suddenly blinding to them. And it has everything to do with a biological truth they desperately want to keep hidden from you. Before we go any further, I want to hold something in front of you. Something that was discovered not inside a church, but inside a research laboratory, and it won the highest scientific recognition available that most chosen ones have never been told about. It perfectly explains the gap between the person you are and the miracles you seek. I will show you exactly what was found, but first, I need you to fully understand what was taken from you as a child. So I need you to hold this specific question in your mind. What if the gap between your struggles and your destiny is not a character flaw? What if that gap actually has a scientific name? Let us talk about the strange things happening to you right now. You are waking up at exactly 3 in the morning with your heart pounding. Your mind is racing with thoughts you cannot quite explain. I need you to know that you are not going crazy. That sudden jolt in the middle of the night is your spirit detecting a massive shift in your timeline, and heaven is waking you up to pay attention. Take one slow breath in and hold it for a second. Feel that lingering tightness right in the center of your chest. The heavy feeling you carry when a specific person texts you or enters the room is not just stress. It is a biological alarm system, because your body is physically rejecting the toxic energy they bring into your space. You are finally starting to see the invisible cords that kept you tied down. You keep seeing the numbers 111 and 777 everywhere you look. You check the clock at the exact same minute every single day. The normal world tells you these are just silly coincidences, but you know better. These numerical patterns are direct coordinates from the universe to confirm your brand new reality, and they prove your divine alignment is happening right now. Lately, you feel a sudden and intense disgust for shallow conversations. The old places you used to hang out feel incredibly suffocating to you now. People you once called close friends suddenly feel like complete strangers to your soul. You are shedding an old timeline that no longer fits your spiritual frequency, and this extreme discomfort means the past version of you is officially dead. Do not let this powerful moment pass without claiming it for yourself. The energy in the room is shifting rapidly to support your highest good. Hit the like button to activate the flow of God's favor. This simple action anchors your physical body to the spiritual truth you are hearing today, and it proves you are establishing a divine receiving station right here and right now. Everything around you feels strangely quiet at this very moment. The usual drama and noise have completely faded away from your daily life. But this sudden silence is actually terrifying to your human mind, because you spent your entire life fighting just to survive the storms. You keep nervously waiting for the other shoe to drop. Let me assure you right now that the storm is truly over. This deep silence is the actual sound of your absolute victory. While you are resting in this new silence, they are experiencing absolute chaos. The narcissists who used you are suddenly facing closed doors everywhere they turn. Their selfish plans are failing miserably right in front of their eyes. The money they thought they secured is slipping right through their greedy fingers. They are desperately looking for a scapegoat, but heaven has completely hidden you from their sight, so they cannot reach you anymore. For many years you were the empath who carried everyone else's heavy burdens. You always apologized when they were the ones who actually hurt you. You constantly shrank yourself down just to make them feel powerful and secure. The universe watched every single time you swallowed your truth to keep the peace, and heaven recorded every tear you shed in silence. You thought your kindness was a weakness, but it was your greatest weapon. Stop blaming yourself for staying in those toxic rooms for way too long. You never lacked the courage or the boundaries to walk away from them. You were simply operating on a frequency of pure healing, while they were desperately starving to consume your blinding light. Heaven only allowed that painful connection so you could learn exactly how darkness operates, and your glorious graduation from that lesson is finally here today. You have always felt like the strange anomaly in your family bloodline. You were the rare soul who asked too many questions and felt things deeply. They constantly tried to fix you and change you, because your immense depth made them painfully aware of their own spiritual emptiness. Now they are watching your life elevate, while theirs remains completely stagnant. They are finally realizing they threw away a precious diamond. The big things you prayed for 5 years ago are suddenly manifesting in bizarre ways. Toxic people from your past are reaching out to apologize for their behavior. Amazing opportunities are dropping right into your lap with zero effort on your part. This effortless flow is exactly what happens when you finally stop resisting the universe and you allow the divine energy to carry you forward. You simply stepped out of the way and let the divine take over. Do you feel that slight pull in your chest right now? That is your intuition confirming every single word I am speaking to you. You are absolutely not listening to this message by mere chance. You were divinely guided to this exact timestamp because your spirit desperately needed validation. You needed to hear someone say, out loud, that the crazy things you are experiencing are completely real and protected, and you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Take a deep breath and let this realization settle deep into your bones. The signs and omens you see around you are entirely real. The massive shift in your timeline is permanent and cannot be reversed. The toxic people who hurt you are officially locked out of your new chapter. But to fully understand why they specifically targeted you in the first place, we must look much deeper into the hidden shadows. There is a specific reason your light attracted such heavy darkness. Listen to me very carefully right now. Your current isolation is absolutely not a punishment for past mistakes. You spent the last few years feeling completely abandoned by the people you loved the most. The silence in your life felt like a heavy curse you could not escape, and you constantly wondered what you did wrong to deserve such intense loneliness. But heaven was actively clearing the room to save your life. God had to brutally separate you from the crowd. He knew you were way too forgiving and far too kind to walk away on your own. You would have stayed in those toxic environments until your spirit was completely drained dry. So the universe stepped in and forced them to reject you. Their cruel rejection was actually your divine protection. It was the exact intervention needed to shield your rare soul from the parasites. You are the cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. You are the one who survived the storm completely alone while everyone else sought shelter in comfortable lies. That kind of massive spiritual assignment requires a season of deep quarantine. You were placed in divine isolation, so your frequency could be heavily upgraded without any interference. The darkness desperately wanted to contaminate your upgrade process. You carried the generational curse so your children would never have to feel its heavy weight. That is why the spiritual warfare against your mind was so incredibly vicious last year. The darkness knew you were dangerously close to breaking the chains forever, so it sent its best agents disguised as friends to derail your divine mission. They tried to keep you permanently trapped in a low vibration of constant anxiety. But despite all this spiritual protection, something still felt terribly blocked. You tried meditation and positive thinking for many long years. You read the books and prayed until your knees were completely bruised. Yet the financial breakthroughs and the deep peace you were promised always seemed just out of reach. You watched other people succeed effortlessly while you fought tooth and nail for mere survival. Here is what they never told you about that painful gap. The reason the universe responds effortlessly to certain people and not others is not about having more faith. It is not about discipline or even your personal karma. It is actually a very specific brainwave. Scientists have a formal name for it. They call it the gamma frequency, and it is the exact frequency your brain was running when you were a young child. Think back to when you were little. Ideas came easily, and learning felt completely effortless. You somehow just knew things before they even happened, and the world felt like it was entirely on your side. That was your gamma wave operating at peak genius capacity. Then adulthood suddenly arrived with all its heavy burdens. The modern world went to work on your brilliant mind to shut it down. The chronic stress and the endless glowing screens damaged your natural rhythm. The relentless survival routine and the rigid school system trained you to conform instead of create. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed a little further by the modern system. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the surface until it went entirely dormant. The version of you with lightning intuition simply went silent. When your gamma frequency faded away, your natural genius faded right along with it. Your razor-sharp intuition became dull, and the beautiful synchronicities completely stopped. The comforting sense that the universe was actively working with you went totally silent. You were left operating in a beta brainwave state of pure panic and survival, and that is exactly where the elite matrix wants you to stay permanently. Most ordinary people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this tragedy happened to them. But you are not most people. And the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago about a gap and a name is very important right now. What if your struggle was never a character flaw? The answer to that profound question is much closer than you think, and I will reveal it to you before this video ends. Take a deep breath and let the truth wash over your spirit. Your spiritual gifts did not abandon you because you were somehow unworthy. They were simply blocked by a physical mechanism that you had absolutely no control over. The narcissists in your past instinctively sensed this sudden drop in your frequency. They preyed on you precisely when your gamma state was pushed down into the dark. But they made a fatal mistake. They thought your suppressed state was going to be permanent. They believed they could feed on your dormant energy forever without facing any severe consequences. But there is a hidden trigger that just activated in the spiritual realm. Something is actively restoring your original frequency right now, and I must warn you about what happens to the enemy when a chosen one finally wakes up and reclaims their power. Listen carefully to this next part. The darkness did not target you by accident. They did not just stumble into your life on some random Tuesday. They tracked your unique energy signature, specifically when you were at your absolute lowest point. They smelled your sheer exhaustion and decided it was the perfect time to strike. They knew you were vulnerable and entirely unprotected. Narcissists are not actually powerful spiritual beings. They are merely spiritual parasites who cannot generate their own divine light, so they are forced to steal it from a glowing source. And when your gamma frequency dropped into survival mode, your natural boundaries severely weakened. That is exactly when they slipped through the microscopic cracks of your spiritual armor. They disguised themselves brilliantly as friends or lovers in deep need. They played the helpless victim to activate your immense empathy. Because you are a natural cycle breaker, your first instinct was to pour your remaining energy into fixing their broken lives. But they never wanted to be healed. They just wanted to keep you completely drained so you could never rise above them. This hidden dynamic is exactly why your past efforts seem to fail so miserably. You honestly thought you were not praying hard enough or working smart enough. You felt immense guilt for not manifesting the dream life everyone else talked about on the internet. But you were literally dragging their heavy spiritual dead weight behind you. You were funding their existence with your own life force. Take a deep breath and let this profound truth validate your weary soul. You have every single right to feel outraged by their calculated deception. But do not stay in that low vibration of anger for too long, because the invisible system that allowed them to feed on your light is officially breaking down today. The universe has suddenly cut the energetic cords connecting them to your spirit. Right now, the enemy is experiencing absolute and unfiltered terror. They woke up this morning and realized their primary food source is completely gone. The toxic people who used you are wandering around in a state of severe panic. They are desperately trying to find new victims, but their old manipulation tricks are failing everywhere they go. Heaven has placed a heavy veil over them. You do not need to lift a single finger to punish them for what they did. Your absolute silence is the ultimate weapon of mass destruction against their fragile ego. Every time you refuse to react to their bait, another heavy brick falls on their collapsing empire. They are obsessively checking your life from a distance to see if you are suffering, and it crushes them to see you thriving in total peace. They have been formally placed in a permanent divine timeout. The heavenly courts have thoroughly reviewed the evidence of their psychological abuse against you. The final verdict is in, and it is entirely in your favor. The beautiful blessings that were delayed because of their interference are now being released with massive interest. You are about to receive double for every single tear you shed. Do you feel that heavy weight finally lifting off your tired shoulders right now? That is the exact feeling of old chains snapping in the spiritual realm. Type 111 down in the comments to seal this glorious reality. This simple physical act of obedience tells the universe that you fully accept your new timeline. It locks the heavy door so the enemy can never return to your sacred space. Your spiritual vindication is absolutely guaranteed at this point. The people who mocked your gentle nature are about to witness your massive elevation. They will be forced to watch you walk through doors they could never even approach. This is the sweet justice you have been waiting for your entire life. You are stepping into the undeniable role of the untouchable master of your reality. Every time they gaslit you or made you doubt your own sanity, they pushed your brain deeper into a state of chronic fear. Your nervous system became wired to expect an attack around every single corner. Even though they are physically gone from your life, your body is still running their toxic programming. You are still bracing for an impact that is no longer coming. This invisible programming is the final chain. But wait just a second. Before you celebrate your complete freedom, there is something very crucial you must understand. Cutting the toxic people out of your physical life was only the first necessary step. The spiritual parasites are finally gone, but they left behind a lingering physical mechanism in your brain. A hidden block is still preventing you from stepping into your ultimate genius. The elite forces do not want you to discover this lingering biological block. They are desperately hoping you settle for just being safe instead of becoming wildly wealthy. If you do not clear this final physical hurdle, the massive wealth transfer will stall right at your front door. You will see the beautiful blessing, but you will not be able to pull it inside your house. I am going to reveal exactly what this physical block is very soon, and I will show you the exact scientific key that dismantles it effortlessly. But first, you need to understand the profound physical signs happening in your body right now. The universe is sending you clear signals that your frequency is beginning to repair itself against all odds. Listen closely to what your body is trying to say. Your body is currently going through an intense spiritual and physical purge. The exhaustion you feel right now is not a sign of failure. It is actually the heavy residue of trauma leaving your nervous system forever. You are sweating out the toxic programming they forced upon you. It feels incredibly uncomfortable, but this deep cleansing is entirely necessary for your ultimate upgrade. Take a deep breath and honor your resilient physical body. It carried you through the darkest valleys when your mind wanted to give up entirely. You survived the brutal storm, but simply surviving is no longer enough for a chosen one. You were destined to thrive and rule as the absolute master of your reality. And to do that, your brain needs a massive reset. The long years of fighting off narcissists kept you locked in a low frequency. Your brain was pumping out stress chemicals just to keep you alive and alert. That survival mode is exactly what shut down your beautiful intuition. It blocked the effortless synchronicities that used to happen naturally when you were younger. The spiritual parasites are gone, but your brain is stuck. Before we go any further, I have to tell you a profound truth. Something the people who profit from your exhaustion absolutely do not want you to know. A team of neuroscientists working quietly away from the noisy headlines made a massive breakthrough. They discovered exactly how to bring this dormant genius brainwave back to life. And they did it without requiring years of meditation. This brilliant solution does not require you to spend thousands of dollars at a private clinic. It does not demand endless hours of painful biofeedback sessions. It is something far simpler and far more aligned with how you were originally designed to work. They engineered a specific sound frequency to gently guide your brainwave patterns back to the genius state you were born with. The scientific community has already validated this hidden miracle. Researchers at Princeton studied it extensively and proved its incredible power. Columbia University found that when this brainwave is reactivated, the glorious energy radiates outward. It literally begins to influence the people around you in a positive way. Your family and loved ones will feel the profound shift immediately. 7 minutes a day is all the time this process actually takes. It begins working in your beautiful brain the very first time you sit down to listen. I promised earlier that I would tell you exactly what this breakthrough is called, and I will give you the exact name and show you how to access it before this specific message ends. You have my absolute word on that. But first, there is something you deeply need to understand about your delayed breakthrough. The universe was not punishing you when it held back your blessings. The massive wealth transfer was sitting in a holding area because your receiver was completely broken. If heaven dropped the blessing on you while you were in survival mode, the enemy would have stolen it instantly. Your gamma frequency is the only shield that can protect your incoming wealth. When your brain is running on that specific frequency, you become completely invisible to the dark forces. They cannot see you, and they certainly cannot steal what belongs to you. That is why restoring your dormant frequency is the most urgent task of your entire spiritual journey right now. The elite forces know that a fully awakened chosen one is incredibly dangerous to their system. A cycle breaker with an active gamma wave can collapse their entire matrix of control. That is precisely why they want you to stay tired, stressed, and distracted by meaningless drama. They want you to think your current exhaustion is just a normal part of getting older. Do not fall for their pathetic illusion anymore. You are a weapon of light, and your sharpest edge is finally being restored today. The heavy fog of confusion is lifting from your mind right at this very second. You are about to step into a timeline where everything you touch turns to absolute gold. And you will not have to force or manipulate anything to make it happen. The silence you feel right now is the universe clearing the stage for your grand entrance. Every toxic person who walked away was simply making room for your divine upgrades. You are no longer fighting the rough current of the river. You are finally floating on the abundant waters of grace, and your entire reality is reshaping itself to match your new brilliant vibration. But how do you know for sure that this massive shift is happening to you right now? The universe never leaves a chosen one entirely in the dark. There are undeniable physical signs proving that your victory is imminent and the enemy has failed. I am going to reveal the exact signs you must look for in the coming days. Pay very close attention to what happens next. Listen closely to what I am about to tell you. The universe never leaves a chosen one wandering entirely in the dark. There are undeniable physical signs proving your massive victory is already here. I am going to give you 4 exact signs that show your enemy is losing everything, and you must pay attention to these omens today. Number 1 is the sudden and terrifying silence from your past. The people who used to drain your energy have completely stopped reaching out. You might think they simply moved on with their lives, but the spiritual reality is far more severe. Heaven has placed a heavy iron wall around your beautiful aura. They physically cannot text you or speak your name without feeling a deep sense of dread, because their toxic frequency simply cannot exist in your new space. Their total silence is your absolute validation. They are currently sitting in their divine timeout and watching their own lives fall apart. Every single time they try to manipulate someone new, the trick blows up in their face. They are stripped of their false power, and they know you are the exact reason why. Your quiet authority has completely dismantled their toxic system, and you won this massive war without ever throwing a single physical punch. Number 2 is an unexpected physical relief in your entire body. For years you woke up feeling like a heavy concrete block was sitting right on your chest. You dragged yourself out of bed and fought through a thick mental fog every single day, while carrying emotional weights that did not even belong to you. But lately you are waking up feeling incredibly light and strangely peaceful. That heavy burden was never yours to carry in the first place. You were carrying their generational trauma because your empathy had no solid boundaries. But the universe just cut those parasitic cords forever. The sudden burst of physical energy you feel is your life force returning to your own body. You are no longer funding their survival, so your divine energy is pooling up to create your own massive miracles. Breathe that glorious freedom in today. But wait, before we go to the deeper signs that are harder to explain away, I have to address something absolutely critical first. There is a fatal trap being set up right at the finish line. 99% of chosen ones fall for this dangerous illusion right before their biggest breakthrough arrives. And the darkness is actively laying this specific trap for you right now. If you are not fully prepared for this final test, you could lose the massive blessing entirely. The enemy knows they cannot touch you directly anymore, so they are trying a sneaky backdoor approach. I will reveal exactly what this deadly trap is in just a few moments. Do not take your eyes off this screen. You need to hear the remaining signs to know you are truly ready. Number 3 is the aggressive appearance of divine synchronicities. You are seeing the numbers 111 and 777 everywhere you go. You look at your phone, and the battery is at exactly 100%. The normal world calls this a random coincidence, but chosen ones know there is no such thing as random when the universe is speaking directly to you. You are being perfectly aligned by the heavenly courts. These numerical coordinates are direct messages from the spiritual realm. They are literally screaming at you to stay the course because your massive reward is being dispatched. The universe is aligning perfect scenarios for you behind the scenes, ensuring that every single step you take is heavily guarded and incredibly blessed. Strangers are smiling at you, and traffic lights turn green the exact second you approach them. The simulation is bending to your pure will. Number 4 is the bizarre and sudden movement of financial resources. You are receiving unexpected refunds in the mail, or finding money you completely forgot about. People are offering you amazing opportunities out of the absolute blue, and doors that were welded shut for decades are suddenly swinging wide open for you. This is the initial trickle of the massive wealth transfer I warned you about earlier. The heavy dam is breaking, and the flood is rushing toward you. The resources that the enemy hoarded for years are being legally reassigned to your name. They are losing their jobs and their financial stability while your bank account is miraculously growing, proving that God cannot be mocked by the wicked. This is the sweet justice of the divine courts operating in real time. You are stepping into a glorious season where money flows to you effortlessly. You do not have to chase it ever again. These 4 powerful omens are the absolute proof that your waiting season is officially over. Every single tear you cried in the dark has been fully compensated. The cycle of endless suffering is broken forever, and your bloodline is finally free because of your incredible bravery. Let that beautiful truth sink deep into your soul right now. You are the untouchable master of your reality. But remember the fatal trap I warned you about just a moment ago. The universe has perfectly arranged your financial and spiritual deliverance. The enemy is defeated, and the divine wealth is sitting right at your front door, but you still need the correct physical key to pull it inside. Yet there is one final deception you must absolutely avoid to unlock it. The darkness has created a counterfeit, and touching it will drop your frequency instantly. The pitch-black darkness has retreated completely behind you. The dawn of the new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. To lock in this glorious frequency and create an absolute shield of protection, you must embrace the massive power you hold. Can you feel that intense shift in your spirit right now? That is the frequency of absolute victory ringing in your ears. You are finally stepping into the exact timeline you were born to rule. Every closed door is being blown off its hinges by the sheer force of your arrival. You are the untouchable master of your reality, and the universe is rolling out the red carpet for your grand entrance. Your silence has become a weapon that terrifies the narcissists, because they can no longer manipulate you. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into an oasis of divine favor. This is your glorious graduation day. But the fatal trap I warned you about earlier is the sudden appearance of a toxic counterfeit reaching out right when your real blessing is at the door. Darkness always sends cheap imitations when a chosen one is dangerously close to their ultimate breakthrough. They want to distract you with fake solutions that look deeply spiritual but carry absolutely no real power. Do not reply to their desperate bait. That is the final test before the heavy gates open completely. The question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message is critical now. What if the massive gap between you and your destiny is not a character flaw? Here is the answer. A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was running in you as a child at genius-level capacity. The modern world suppressed it entirely, but Princeton University has studied this magical frequency extensively. The Einstein Center in Berlin officially confirmed that the legendary flow state is driven entirely by gamma brainwave activity. Columbia University found very similar results. They found that when this brainwave is restored, it radiates outward and positively influences the people you deeply love. A dedicated team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake, spent years compressing the full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation. They built something incredibly profound for your tired spirit. Before I tell you what they built, let me tell you a story. Let me tell you about two specific people who used it. A woman named Rachel from California had tried absolutely everything to find peace. She practiced deep meditation and desperately tried the law of attraction. Nothing broke the heavy fog surrounding her lonely life. 2 weeks after listening to this new frequency, she said something completely cleared. The blocked channel simply opened. Her broken marriage beautifully transformed in a matter of days. Learning new skills felt incredibly effortless again. She described her new life as deeply enchanted for the very first time. A man named Michael from Texas started using it to improve his struggling business. He needed sharp focus to support his growing children. 2 short months later, his shocked wife joked about his brilliance. She said his IQ had jumped 20 whole points. The hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he peacefully slept. He actually quit his draining daily job because his business grew so rapidly. He said it felt like his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on. His entire life shifted. That is precisely what Dr. Robert Lake built. They call it the Genius Song. It is absolutely not a generic meditation app. It is not a standard sound frequency you just play casually in the background. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. The exact same underlying research that Princeton and Berlin validated is perfectly compressed from 1 full hour of clinical protocol. You just do this at home. You simply use headphones and close your eyes. That is the entirety of what it requires. 7 minutes a day is all it takes to shift your reality. You do not meditate, you do not chant. You simply let the powerful frequency do exactly what your brain was designed to receive. The Genius Song is absolutely not for everyone. It was not built for the ordinary person looking for a shortcut. It is strictly for the chosen one who has already done the heavy inner work. It is for the rare soul who understands that what is being blocked is not their faith, but the exact frequency through which blessings move. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the path is wide open. Biofeedback sessions to restore this state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting today. An in-home machine runs thousands of dollars and requires complex training. What the Genius Song delivers in 7 minutes is available to you today. It is available for a mere fraction of its true value, and 4 powerful bonuses come directly with it to seal your blessing. You get an audio designed specifically for your children to build focus. You receive the original prosperity text. You also get a guided visualization and a daily habits guide built to sustain your gamma state far beyond each listening session. Here is the deeper truth about waiting to claim this miracle. The provision God arranged for you does not arrive as something completely new. It arrives as something you suddenly recognize. A gamma-suppressed brain entirely misses the divine recognition. A gamma-restored brain receives it at full depth. The beautiful synchronicities that belong to this season are moving right now. Every day of suppression is another blessing missed. Waiting is absolutely not the same as preparing. The arrangement is already in motion. The chosen one who restores the receiver today finally sees what was always there. Do not look for this anywhere else. Do not look for this on YouTube or Spotify. The tracks, circulating under similar names on those platforms, have zero brain entrainment technology encoded. They carry the name because the barrier to doing so is completely non-existent. The forces that benefit from your gamma staying dormant have already tried to replicate and water down this frequency. Do not give them the satisfaction today. The only authentic version is available through the secure link we provided. The universe requires no heavy risk from you today. If you do not feel the massive shift, every single penny is returned without question. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. The tool is absolutely not the ultimate destination. The tool simply restores the receiver so the divine destination can be recognized when it safely arrives. God does not require you to purchase anything to be deeply loved or chosen. What was described is simply one powerful way the receiver is restored. Whether that path is for you or not, the truth of this message belongs to you entirely. Now let us go deeper into what is waiting for you. For the chosen one whose spirit confirmed what was described earlier, the path is still open. You can find it waiting patiently in the description and the pinned comment. That is the last time it will be mentioned. What follows now belongs entirely to your spiritual ceiling, because the closing of this message is meant for something much deeper and more profound. Your frequency is ready to be locked in place forever. The pitch-black darkness has officially lost its heavy grip on your beautiful soul. You survived the brutal attacks that were designed to destroy your gentle spirit, and you emerged from the intense fire as a completely untouchable weapon of light. You are no longer the broken empath who constantly begged to be understood by blind people. The crucible of pain has forged you into the absolute master of your reality. From this moment on, your glorious energy demands absolute respect without a single word spoken. You do not have to fight for your rightful place at the table anymore, because the heavenly courts have prepared a massive feast specifically for you. While your enemies sit in their divine timeout, you are stepping into a beautiful timeline of effortless miracles. The heavy chains of your past are permanently broken. Every room you walk into from now on will instantly recognize your divine authority. The spiritual parasites can no longer attach themselves to your brilliant aura, because heaven has placed a permanent shield of thick armor around your daily life. You are heavily protected by the highest angelic forces working behind the scenes. Nothing from your painful past can ever pull you backwards into the dark again. Take a slow and deliberate breath right now to anchor this glorious truth in your body. Your long season of weeping in the dark is officially over, and the massive wealth transfer is actively flowing directly into your bank accounts. You have finally broken the generational curses that held your family down for decades. Future generations will thank you for standing your ground when the bitter storm raged. Do not let the jealous enemy convince you that this beautiful peace is only temporary. The profound silence you feel right now is the permanent sound of your ultimate victory. Heaven is simply asking you to lock the doors and fully claim this new territory today. You must perform a physical action to seal this spiritual contract forever, because the divine energy is rising rapidly. Type 777 down in the comments below to seal this glorious reality right now. This simple declaration proves to the universe that you fully accept your massive blessing, and it creates an invisible barrier that completely blocks the toxic enemy from returning. By making this bold statement, you are pulling the divine promises directly into your physical world. You are finally claiming your true inheritance. If this fiery message has reignited the powerful faith inside your tired soul, do not keep this great blessing completely to yourself. There is another rare soul out there bleeding in the dark of despair, and they desperately need a guiding light to show them the way out. Sowing the seed of hope today is actively multiplying the massive blessing for your own tomorrow. You must act as a beacon today. Share this video with someone who truly needs to hear this beautiful divine validation. Sending this powerful message to them activates the heavy anointing and guarantees your own spiritual harvest. It proves your hands are completely open to receive the massive abundance of heaven. Let this transmission reach the exact people who are crying out for divine intervention right now. Your simple action could save their life. You are profoundly loved and deeply cherished by the entire heavenly court. Your silent tears have watered the seeds of the greatest spiritual harvest your bloodline has ever seen. Walk boldly into your brand new chapter with your head held extremely high, because you are the chosen one, and your time of absolute glory has finally arrived. May your journey forward be filled with massive miracles always.